our New York studio. Maria, J. Will, and Jalen Rose here with you. Now remember, at halftime, the Celtics were up by 6 on top of the Nets. But then the big three scored 28 of the 31 points in the third quarter. They willed themselves to a win. You heard KD telling Lisa Salters that they really wanted that victory. But what did we see from the big three as they continue to gel throughout this game?
I just think they wore the Celtics out. I mean, you playing without Jalen Brown. Jason Tatum was really aggressive early. They did a good job of smothering him defensively. And at some point, you hope somebody get hot. And then it seems like they got a chance to take turns. KD took his turn, as you see, anytime he gets switched out on the big like Tristan Thompson. That's an accident. And then Kyrie Irving took his turns to go one-on-one and get in his bag. And so you figure one of those guys are going to find a way to get hot. But I'm not going to panic just yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to just say this. They go against better defensive teams. With more offensive firepower, you're not going to win too many games, shooting 40% from the floor and 20% from three. They scored in the low 100s from in points today. That's going to pick up with their pace.
Jay, I said this at the beginning of the year. For anybody that knows street basketball, right? Legendary street basketball, the Brooklyn Nets are a polished version of Rucker Park. Right? It is entertainment style. Those three combined for 81 of the team's 103 points. They got 11 bench points, Jay. Look, in order for them to win a championship, they will need to build continuity into their offensive scheme. They will have to do so. They're playing against a depleted Boston team. They should beat this team by double digits. That's how much more talented they are. Will it translate moving forward? It's going to be upon their defense and the continuity of their offense.
Obviously, Kevin Durant was leading the way with those 32 points, but they only shot at 23% from three. They knocked down 8 threes, so it wasn't a perfect game for the Nets. There's still a lot of room to improve, but they get to walk away with the victory. We do want to shine a spotlight, though, on Robert Williams because he was a spotlight for the Celtics. He had 11 points, I think 9 blocks, but coming into this game, he did not feel healthy, and Adrian Wojnarowski is with us and help us understand kind of the circumstances he entered into this game with and how he was able to overcome them.
No, right, Moran. Robert Williams has missed a significant portion of the Celtics game since mid-April with a turf toe injury, and he told his agent Kevin Bradbury this morning that the pain was around a 7 out of a 10. Wasn't sure how he'd be able to play tonight. You saw him really gutted out on the floor. A Celtic record, a Celtic postseason record, 9 block shots, and you know Williams is really one of the foundational pieces of this Celtics future. He'll be extension eligible this summer, but I think in this series for Boston, you know, as much as they can get out of Robert Williams with that turf toe injury, he's shown that he can be a really impactful player, especially on the defensive end for Boston.
Man, how about this for impactful, Woj? The Nets were 0 for 14 when Robert Williams was the last defender. That's how much he was impacting the game on the defensive end. All right, let's take you back to the first game of our quadruple header, and that was the Miami Heat taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. And we started out right because this is an overtime game, so go ahead and get it done. I know.
It stresses me out when I see Giannis at the free throw line in big-time moments. It stresses me out.
Okay, there's a 10-second clock. Remember, you have to shoot your shot within 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, doesn't get it off.
But this ain't no dating website. Gotta shoot your shot in 10 seconds.
That's a violation, J. Rose. That's a violation. The shot doesn't count. I know. Mike,
I've seen that.
Doesn't understand.
That's like 3 seconds. Like, you never see that call. Like, come on, bro.
This is bad defense right here. This is Matador defense. I mean, if you're the defensive player of the year in years previous, you got to take on that one-on-one lockdown.
All right, Jimmy Butler gets it to go into overtime, and then the miss there by Robinson, Drew Holiday, coast to coast.
Holiday just blending in, making his open threes when he get them, making defensive plays. This is a big-time character win for the Bucks. Being down 0-1 to the team that eliminated you last year would have, I think, affected not only the fans and media, but possibly their team mentally.
Okay, well, Chris Middleton was not affected. 2 seconds left. Gets the shot to go.
Team, too.
Yes, 27 points for Middleton, the go-ahead field goal, and the win for the Bucks. Miami hit 23s in this game. The Bucks only hit 5, and it didn't matter. They were still able to gut out that victory.
All right, Chris Middleton, he's the closer. That's where it is. That's where it is.
And I'm not mad at it, by the way. Because he's not a high flyer, sometimes people don't appreciate his effectiveness. Chris Middleton is a perennial all-star, a terrific player.
Preach.
Okay, well, we'll see whether or not the Bucks can get out another one against the Heat. And remember, that's the same team that put them out a season ago in the playoffs. Also, we saw the Mavs go on the road, take a win off the Clippers. We didn't even get a chance to discuss that.
Glad the Clippers tanked for that one. That worked out.
But the good news is, if you still want a little bit more basketball, go ahead and turn on to ESPN. You can watch it. Your late local news is next, except on the West Coast. That's all we got. We'll see you next time for NBA Countdown.
Highly trained professional.
Yeah, that
A+.
was special. Wow.
First round against the Clippers last season, 31-9-8. That's what Luka averaged this game, 31-10-11. He's not new to this. He's true to this.
Playing the playoffs in a win like this, how much fun did you have out there playing in that competitive atmosphere with the Clippers tonight?
Oh, it was great. Like I say, playoffs are fun. Especially they're more fun if you win, obviously. But it's fun basketball. I think it's fun for the fans to watch it, and that's it.
McMahon?
McMahon, ESPN. Luka, what did you think of the way that they approached defending you from early on switching stuff and then, later in the game, sending doubles and kind of how you handled that?
I think I just got to adjust, when they don't double, attack it. But when they double, there's somebody who's going to be open, And just got to read the game, and that's the point for me.
Okay, Callie?
Luka, Rick said that he kind of views this time of year as your best time of year. So I'm curious, why do you think that when the stakes are the highest, you tend to be at your very best?
I mean, I don't know. I hope, that I'm at my best, but I think that's far away. I'm only in my third season, so I got still a lot to learn. But we just go out there, have fun, and try to win the game.
Last one in English, Matt.
Luke, starts on the rim. That fourth quarter, you had 1 point. It looked like they were at you a lot. Were you tired in that fourth quarter?
I mean, they were double teaming. First of all, I think almost every possession. My legs were kind of like sore. How to say sore? But no, we won the game, man. That's all that matters for me. If I have 0 or 15 points in the last quarter.
Okay, and we're going to move into Spanish. Please announce your name and outlet. Pedro?
Gracias a Univision Dallas. Luka, ¿qué tan importante es esta victoria para el equipo anímicamente ganando en California? Y también la contribución que tuviste, o que tuvo el equipo más bien el día de hoy, con Brunson, con Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway, que también aportaron mucho al equipo.
Muy importante. Creo que esto se siente bien de poder ganar el primer partido, sobre todo fuera. Y bueno, todo el equipo ha jugado muy bien, todos. Y creo que si seguimos así, tenemos oportunidad.
Claudia?
Lucas, Claudia Néstor, Los Ángeles Post Examiner. ¿Cómo luce este equipo de los Clippers comparado al último año?
No creo que ha cambiado mucho. Juegan muy físico. Hay que parar a Kawhi, a Paul George. Son las dos piezas y bueno, no creo que ha cambiado mucho. Son muy físicos.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Scott?
Shout out to our, as he said, on to the next one. Like Jay-Z once famously said, PG-13 had 23 in the game. Let's take a listen to Paul George.
Hey, Paul. What did you see down the stretch offensively from you guys in terms of shots you were getting and, the inability to execute?
I mean, I thought we got some good shots. I thought, they were just making baskets. We were fouling, which was tough at that time because we were rolling when we were able to get stops, get out, run, play with a faster pace. Once they make shots and we put them to the line, it kind of messed with our flow at that point.
Thanks. We'll go next to Tomer.
Hey, Kiki. Ty mentioned that there was a lot of miscommunication and missed defensive assignments out there. I'm just curious as to, I know it's game one, but you guys had a couple days to review this, and I know Ty has mentioned that every team knows everything pretty well. Why do you think that was the case out there tonight?
I mean, it's just part of the game. You know, part of the game. We had a week off. You know, we just we had great intentions. We were just a little off on a couple possessions.
So what's the vibe of the locker room after a game like this?
Oh, it's great. I mean, you give Dallas credit. You know what I mean? They're a good team. Give them all the credit. They're a good team. This is a 4-5 matchup. You know, so it's you know, we got to do better. We had to play better today. But give them credit. They came in, they executed. We know we got to do better for game 2.
Thanks. We'll go next to Vincent.
Hey, Paul, there's a lot of pressure from the outside on this team, and Ty has been pretty outspoken about keeping you guys cool and not feeling that. But how do you guys keep from not feeling overwhelmed between now and game 2 and the specter of going down 2-0?
I mean, you know, we expect to play better. We expect to be more dialed in game 2. We're not looking at it as just because of who we have. We expected to win it. We got the same pressure as every team that's in this. It all comes down to who's the last team standing, and that's just the pressure every team goes through. It's no different than how we're approaching this. We want to be the last team standing, regardless of however many games it take, or how tough the road is. Fact of the matter is, man, we want to be the last one standing. So we got to be better for game 2, and